Hey, this is Kirrus at Comic-Con 2010, and I'm here once again with a good friend of the show, Mr. Jake Tarbox. Say hi.
Hello to everybody out there.
And last time we talked, he gave us some very interesting insight, and one thing I really remember is that he talked about manga and how manga is a medium, not like a style.
Right.
And talked about the diversity of that. And this time he's at Comic-Con. Or you want to talk a little bit about what you talked about on the panel?
I was in the Lost in Translation panel with a bunch of other manga industry professionals, and the theme of the panel was supposed to be about the translation process, which is obviously what we're doing, but most of the questions became about the future of digital comics and intellectual property.
So what do you think is the future of manga?
I've been to a whole lot of panels by some very, very wonderful, intelligent, and well-informed people here. Everybody seems to be saying print media will not go away. However, I'm going to have to be the exception and say that of course, there's always going to be a little print media. Currently, there are still people who own and breed horses. But we don't travel by horse anymore. And there will always be people who love horses. There will always be people who make saddles. But that's just the vast majority of modern people that have never even touched a horse. I think that's going to be the way it is with print media. Yes, there will always be books. But I can't help but think, especially the generation of kids who are little kids now, who are going to go to school and have their textbook be an iPad or a slate or some kind of pad device, it's all going to go digital. I think bookstores are going to go the way of the old-fashioned neighborhood record store.
So in the future, as opposed to buying like the printed manga, I'll be reading them online or on my iPhone or on my iPad or the Kindle or like whatnot.
I think you'll be reading them on that, and you will be reading creations, whatever they are called, that were made originally for electronic format, and they will look different, and they'll feel a little different, and they'll read a little different, and it'll be a different experience. It won't be, there'll be no reason to turn a page. In current comics creation, the way you set out your pages, you have two pages that face each other, and the panels reflect that, and then there's a turn. So at the last panel on the bottom corner, you want sort of a cliffhanger that makes you want to turn the page. There won't be any turned pages anymore, and that will change how the creators create the page.
So it'll be like a completely new style of manga then off of that.
Manga and comics, yes.
Yeah. So do you feel the old style will just completely die out?
No, there will always be an influence of the old style. It won't be totally different. But it will be a little different. It will be appreciably different in the way that if you look at television programs from the 50s, back when the screens were very small and there was no color, the image was very flat, versus the television programs you can watch now, they look different.
Right.
The way you experience a DVD as a movie, it's different than going to a theater. Like, you can't turn on commentary and you can't turn on things like that. The old influence will be there, but it will be a new experience.
Okay.
And I seem to be in the minority people saying this. A lot of people here at Comic-Con bending over backwards to say the print media will never go away. I think, yes, it'll never go away, but you can still ride a horse-drawn carriage in Central Park.
That's true.
But most people take a taxi.
Yeah, so we'll see what the future holds. Nowadays, I do see more like Kindles and more Nooks, and especially with the new iPad, I see people carrying those around and reading books on those. So
all the work I've done for manga in the past 8 months, not all of it, but the majority of it, is stuff that's going straight to digital.
Now, as we move to digital, do you think things like piracy will have a bigger effect or a lesser effect, like on the manga industry?
The fact of the matter is, how all of this is going to play out, nobody knows. Honestly, nobody knows. Everybody who says they know, they may think they know, but nobody's figured it out. That's why so many people in the industry, there's a kind of a sense of unease, because just nobody really knows how it's all going to work out. Nobody really knows exactly how we're going to consume it. Nobody really knows exactly how we're going to pay for it. It'll work itself out. But nobody has really quite figured, in the way that nobody really figured out 10 years ago, nobody really knew how the internet was going to work, or 15 years ago. Now you know, because we've had it.
Now it's an integral part of everybody's daily life. Like when I don't have internet for like a day, I feel like I'm in a cave or something.
Yeah, exactly. It'll work itself out, but nobody quite knows the details about how it's all going to work out.
So very interesting food for thought on the future of the manga industry, like moving towards digital age. So thank you very much, Mr. Tarbox. It's always It's always very interesting getting your insight into the manga industry. So this is Kirrus with the KB Life.
KB Life.